Namaste, my name is Kapil and I welcome you all back to another Perfumery Basics video at Aroma Artisans. So today's video is going to be a little different compared to the previous videos, mainly because what I am planning here is I am planning to draw my thoughts and share it with you on screen here so that I am assuming so that it would be easier for people to understand what I am trying to convey as a message instead of just blabbering away. Yeah, cool. Looking forward to this. So let's get started. The screen recording is on. Yeah. So first things first, we're going to talk about the fact that these are my views. These are my personal views. My views can change in the future, keeping in mind that I would be learning a lot of things while making a lot of new things. I would also possibly be learning a lot from different people that I meet, the different people that I talk to, and obviously I will also be learning a lot from the internet. So these are my current views. They are not written in stone, and I really request you all to respect this. We're going to talk about perfume notes and we're going to talk about rubbing perfumes. Okay, let's start with the basic generalization. We all know that perfume notes, we categorize them into the triangle. We have the top note. Wait, let me just go back to black. So yeah, we have the top note here, we have the mid note here, and we have the base notes here. For very easy understanding, what I'm doing is I'm assuming today we are talking about Jabra, and in Jabra we have 5 notes mentioned on the bottle. That's basically mango, cardamom, vanilla, sandalwood and jasmine. But to make the video easier for me to make, we are going to leave out jasmine. And how a perfume is generally made is you have raw materials. In this case we assume these 4 raw materials and we mix them in a certain way. And what happens is, like for example, here we have mixed mango, cardamom, vanilla and sandalwood in a particular ratio which is not mentioned here, and we come up with Jabra. Now again, for the assumption of the video, what we're going to do is we're going to say mango is the top note, cardamom is the mid note, vanilla and sandalwood are the base notes. Okay, now what I used to understand previously was that when now we have this amazing bottle here. I am an amazing perfume, trust me. We spray perfume on our skin, and again, assumption for this particular video is about one single droplet of that perfume. So what happens is each drop by itself has a top note, a mid note and a base note. And when the first thing what happens is your top note starts to project. It's like loud projection, and after some time the top note is gone. This is gone, and then we come to mid note, and mid note starts projecting, and obviously it's projecting a little lesser than the top note because the materials start getting heavier by the time. So top notes are very light materials when you see molecular weight. Mid notes are a little more denser, and base notes are very dense materials. And these mid notes are projecting, and again after some time what happens is we are left with the base notes. Base notes generally don't tend to project that much, but they have longevity. With longevity, okay, let's cut that there. So base notes are for longevity. Generally some base notes are easily identifiable, some are not. Musks also are base notes, some are identifiable, some are not. So till here our assumptions seem right. Now what happens is, now if I take the example of Jabra, again keeping in mind we have an amazing bottle of Aroma Artisans Jabra, and we have the notes mentioned here as always, and we sprayed, and we again assume the one single droplet of Jabra. If we assume that mango is the top note, cardamom is mango is the top note here, cardamom is the mid note here, the vanilla and the sandalwood are the base notes here. If we assume that in the top note only and only mango is projecting, and after some time only and only cardamom is projecting, and after some time only and only vanilla and sandalwood is projecting, then our assumption is completely wrong. This is not what I assume a fragrance works like. To explain to you what I assume a fragrance works like, first we need to understand the notes triangle in a little more deeper manner. I've mentioned here notes matrix, which is obviously we're going to talk next. Now for Javra, we have mango, cardamom, vanilla and sandalwood. Mango by itself has its own fragrance triangle. Like if you have a fragrance that smells only of mango, obviously your top note is mango, your heart note is mango, and your base note is also mango. Same thing happens with cardamom. Top note, base note, mid note and base note, all is cardamom. And so on for vanilla and so on for sandalwood as well. But also that's not true for each and every material. Let's take an example for lavender. Lavender, obviously your top note is lavender. It's very lavenderish. But when in the dry down, you will definitely get a little bit of eucalyptus, because somewhere in the materials you have eucalyptol. So you will get a little bit of eucalyptus in the dry down of lavender. And now all these notes put together by themselves, they form Javra. Yeah. Now to make it a little more easier to understand, what I have done is I have made this matrix kind of diagram where I have mentioned top notes, the mid notes, the base, and I have put them into mango, cardamom, vanilla and sandalwood. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to explain how a fragrance blends and mixes, and how the top notes work or how the mid notes. Let's start with mango. The mango, what I am assuming right now, is a very top heavy note. It dances, or it works more in the top note. And sandalwood, on the other hand, is a very bass heavy note. Yeah. And if you look at vanilla, it's a very interesting fragrance because it's a workhorse. It works throughout the fragrance. You can get a beautiful vanilla opening and it dried down. It also is there in the dry down as well. And on the other hand, if you look at cardamom, it's a very mid note kind of thing. It's not out there as soon as you spray it, and it's not there at the end of the fragrance as well. Now, keeping in mind this matrix, when your top note is projecting, it is just not the mango that is projecting. It is a combination of all these materials. Slight tinge of sandalwood, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of cardamom, and hence we need to make sure that when we talk about top notes, we know that they are top heavy notes or base heavy notes. It's just not specifically top note. I agree, it's for making things easier, and I'm okay, I'm perfectly fine. I myself also call notes as top notes and base notes and mid notes, but it's a mix. Similarly, once the top note is gone, now it's a mix. It's basically mixing these materials together. Yeah. Here, the top note is more of mango because we have something called as the odor strength. The odor strength, or how powerful that particular note is the odor strength. Now, mango has an extremely high odor strength compared to, let's say, a sandalwood. Only one here. And vanilla is decent, and cardamom is also decent. So the more the odor strength, the more you'll be able to catch that fragrance easily. And hence what I mentioned here is a top heavy note is what we call as a top note. A base heavy note is what we call as a base note. Now to understand these four materials as a projection, as projection, what we're going to do is we're going to make another graph where we talk about, see what I've done is I've always marked Java in orange. So let's assume we make a graph, and on the x-axis we have time, and on the y-axis we have the projection in feet, time in hours. So you sprayed Java here, yeah, and as soon as you sprayed it, it's basically projecting for 5 feet. And what I have done is I have marked these lines here, yeah. These are your notes. Blue is your mango, red is your cardamom. Why I have marked them all together is because it's a mix, as I mentioned to you. But in general, to our nose, what happens is we get mango from the start till some time, and after some time we start identifying the cardamom. After some time we start identifying the cardamom. Vanilla is there since the beginning, and sandalwood is actually there, but we start identifying it late down there. This is how generally your nose will identify the fragrances, but theoretically they are all there in the start. Now first let's start with mango. Mango is out there, it's out and out there, so you can keep smelling it all the way till it basically has evaporated or projected itself out. Now the second thing that we talk about is the cardamom. Cardamom in the start is not very noticeable, it's behind the mango, but after some time it starts coming out and it starts taking its own smell. Yeah, you can identify it very easily. Once it has crossed mango here, you start identifying it very easily. Now we come to vanilla. Vanilla, as you know, is a workhorse. It projects. Vanilla is there from the beginning. It's like there all throughout. The very interesting part now is when we talk about sandalwood. A lot of us will not get sandalwood in the beginning, so it's basically hidden all the way through here, and all of a sudden it's like out there. It's there, it's coming till the end. So this part here or this part here is generally when you catch the sandalwood. And yeah, this is my way of assuming or trying to explain how each of these notes would be projecting. Now what is this here? Yeah, together as one juice is orange, I already mentioned. So the reason, again, this is the mix of the four ingredients, and the larger the plumpier the circle, the higher the odor strength, and the longer the circle, the more longevity. So here the plumpiest is the vanilla. It's the plumpiest one, so vanilla is there, it's there out and out, and the other two you will definitely catch them, but vanilla is overpowering them, and sandalwood is going to last you the longest. It's like it's going to be there, and all these put together is basically Java. Okay, now why is this hanging? Okay, and it's not hanging, my hand is. Now next, understanding that this is, when this came to me I was like, damn. So when I said that we would be completely wrong here when we talk about the top notes going in, this is what came to my mind, and this is what I have assumed, and this is how for me it works. For me, for somebody else, as they wish. So now this is a singular drop of Javra. Okay, again, beautiful bottle of Aroma Artisans, and we've sprayed, and there is this singular drop of Javra. They have the top, the mid. Okay, let's go to black. We have the top, we have the mid, we have the base. Now what happens is you get great, this as a mix of four materials starts projecting and go on. And after some time what happens is we lose out the top. Yeah, this is gone, this is gone, and then the mid as a mix, this mix here starts projecting, obviously a little lesser, and again after some time this is gone, this is evaporated from the skin, and what we are left with is basically the base. Here, the reason why this part, this mango, this small thing is important, or this cardamom here is important, is because it in a way helps change the raw material. Like for example, they say you have an earthy patchouli or a sweet patchouli, or how is it? Patchouli will not change by itself, only and only because now we have mango, and let's assume patchouli in it. The mango has mixed with the patchouli, and the patchouli has become sweeter. The sweetness has come a little bit into the patchouli, and your patchouli has become sweet for the dry down. Mango has done its work for the projection in the top note, and also has changed patchouli a little, and hence you have different kind of patchoulis in different fragrances. I hope I have made sense, but this is what, again, here again, this is a mix, as I said, and we have to keep in mind the odor strength. Now this was droplet understanding. Now coming to the whole part of rubbing a fragrance, should you do it, should you not do it as such? Will it destroy the fragrance? Will it damage the fragrance? To understand this again, I have a droplet of fragrance, the top note, mid note, and the base note, and I have, what I've done is I've mentioned, one second, sorry, stop hanging. Okay, so as usual, the top notes evaporate first, and then the second wave or the second part of the evaporation is the mid notes. Now let's come to the fragrance matrix here. Sorry, this is very irritating. I have really long hair. I haven't gone for a haircut for now 3 months, and it's very irritating, but yeah, very soon. This part is when you are, when you just sprayed the perfume and you don't rub, your droplet stays like that, and it stays like this, like here. And each drop, let's break it down to 16 pieces. As soon as you have rubbed it and you put some pressure, the droplet is not getting destroyed, but it's getting spread on your skin, and these 16 parts of each are spread all throughout. And now what has happened is they are evaporating together. And the fragrance molecules do not get destroyed. They are basically getting displaced. You can't destroy a molecule. It's not in your hands. No matter how hard you rub, a molecule cannot be destroyed by us like this. Yeah. It definitely reduces the longevity, because all of them, now all these 16 molecules are evaporating by themselves together. But the biggest advantage that I look at when I rub a fragrance is I understand the fragrance better, and I understand it faster. I'm able to catch the notes faster. Yeah. So coming back to the question, rubbing a fragrance will destroy. No, it will not destroy the fragrance or damage the fragrance. Rubbing breaks the molecules. No way in hell. You're not God. You're not going to be breaking molecules as such. Yeah. It reduces the longevity. Yes, this I can confirm. It reduces the longevity. And well, after that, this was understanding the droplet. We've already spoken about this. Now, should you rub or should you not rub? You want your fragrance to last a little longer? Do not rub. You want to understand a fragrance, like for example, you're going to a store that you want to test a fragrance and you want to know how the dry down smells like. Mainly because when we go to buy a fragrance, we spray it and we listen to the, not listen, I'm so sorry, we we smell the top notes and we're like, wow, that's a great perfume, and we pick it up and then we start wearing it and you hate the dry down. Yeah, you literally hate it. Like, why the hell did I waste money on this? To avoid that, what you should do is you spray, you rub, and you get to know faster. So if you want to understand a fragrance, I recommend rub. It's not going to damage or spoil the way it smells. You can catch the top notes, the mid notes, and the base notes faster. Yeah. So at the end, we say the fragrance triangle, or the fragrance triangle is just an easy way to generalize stuff. Top heavy, top notes. Mid heavy, mid notes. So it's completely fine. I also use the word top notes, mid notes. It's perfectly fine. But my idea for making this video was to share what I felt on how a fragrance works and why I rub fragrances sometimes and why I don't rub fragrances sometimes. And I know this has been a long video, but I hope it has made sense as well. And finishing the video, a big thank you from Aroma Artisans and me, Kapil, signing out. Take care. I hope that you have liked this video. If you did like it, you can subscribe to the channel. It makes me feel good. And in case you have any comments, the comment section is open for you. Like, share, subscribe is as usual. And yes, thank you.